Elizabeth Branham is live for us in New Delhi. So, Liz, what's been the reaction to the government approving funding for this population register?
Well, Folly, we've just returned from a rally at Delhi University in the centre of the capital, New Delhi, and we're joined now by one of the speakers at that rally, one of the country's most prominent intellectuals, award-winning author Arundhati Roy. Miss Roy, we saw you at the rally, and I know that you're very hopeful about this moment in India now. Why is that? Why do you think we are seeing the biggest protests, whether it's against the citizenship law, the National Register of Citizens, or now the National Population Register that we've seen against this government in the more than 5 years that it's been in power?
Well, I'm hopeful because this movement intellectually understands and emotionally and passionately understands the horror of this Hindutva program that the Modi, BJP, RSS has been selling for the last so many years, and of course in power since 2014. So they only have this as the one answer to every problem: economic, social, education, whatever it is. Their idea is to ratchet up the hatred, and suddenly young people are just saying, sorry, but we're not buying this, and that's why I'm hopeful.
And do you think that the protests that we're seeing by young people, by many people across the country, will make a difference? Because even as those protests happened, the government passed funding for this National Population Register, which many people see as a precursor to the National Register of Citizens.
No, it is a precursor. It's the database, so they are going to go through with whatever they can go through with, They're going to go through with every bit of their agenda. And they're going to shed blood. I mean, they're already killing people all over the state of Uttar Pradesh, because that is where they have the most vicious chief minister acting in tandem with the central government. But they are losing power in all the other states. So just a few years ago, they were in power in so many states, separate states, in India. Now they just hold power in, I think, 3 or 4. And 10 chief ministers have already said that they will not allow the National Register of Citizenship. They have not said that they will not allow the NPR, which is the soft entry to this. I think people still have to understand that that's a very dangerous thing. But I do think that there's a chance, if there ever was a chance, here is the chance to stop them.
And do you think that the Supreme Court will stop them when it hears dozens of petitions against the Citizenship Amendment Act next month?
Look, I don't know. I don't have much hope there, because look at what happened in Assam. They went ahead with the National Register of Citizenship, while the Supreme Court is still hearing the case about whether or not it's constitutional. So all the damage has already been done, and the Supreme Court is still going along its plodding way. And the horror that's unleashed on people in Assam because of this, few people in India know, and so I'm just hoping that it's going to have to take much more than the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has not stood in the way of the government in any of its agendas so far. So I hope it will, but I don't have that much hope.
Ms. Roy, thank you so much for your time. So that is Arundhati Roy, and we are expecting the protests that we've seen over the last 2 weeks to continue until, at least until the Supreme Court does hear those petitions. Folly.
Thank you very much for that. Elizabeth Branham live for us in New Delhi.